Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, Become Better. In today's video we're going to talk all about, I'm going to change the colour, Heartbreak. I chose red because I thought it was appropriate for this video. I got some LED lights here. I can change the colours to different colours. The blue looks nice. But yeah, today we're going to talk all about Heartbreak. Don't mind me changing the colours. Which light would you guys prefer? Let's do either a red or a pink. But yeah, Heartbreak. Honestly, I'd say Heartbreak is probably the worst, one of the worst things to ever experience. Besides losing someone, I guess. It's quite a touchy topic, I guess. But I did want to talk about this topic because obviously if anyone's going through a heartbreak or they thought they met the one they'd marry and then it doesn't work out or things like that, just know that you're strong enough to get through it and stuff, and you're strong enough to overcome it. And I think every time you get hurt in love, it teaches you. And sometimes people come into your life for a reason or lifetime, and sometimes when it comes to love, some people come and you fall in love with them and they just come for a season, Other people come and stay for a lifetime. When it comes to friends and stuff, but when it comes to love and romance, I've had quite a lot of romance, and well, not a lot because I'm still in my 20s. Probably got a lot more to experience, I guess. But I've been hurt and I've been heartbroken once in my life, and that obviously really hurt. And then obviously in the past lots of other people have hurt me, and it hurts in the moment when someone hurts you, when it comes to love and stuff. But then you look back and it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's a good thing that they hurt you, because now you're a stronger person, because every time you get hurt you become stronger, and that's what I truly believe. And some people come into your life to teach you a lesson when it comes to love and stuff. And yeah, I met someone who I thought I would spend forever with, and it didn't work out the way I hoped, even though I'm still in my 20s and I still got a lot to learn and stuff. I hope I'll still be making these videos in 20, 30 years time, and I can look back at this and see where I am now, maybe. But yeah, I've been hurt a lot, by lots of different people in my love life, and every one of those hurts, it's been horrible when I've gone through it, but I've come out stronger on the other side. And sometimes it's you should be grateful that you went through that experience, because now you're you wouldn't be the person you are today if you didn't go through that. It's like a sweet and sour thing, So it's sweet because you're stronger, but it's also sour because you wish that person never hurt you, so, in the first place, but you can't change the past. And sometimes, the other thing is, sometimes you don't get closure, and some people just leave and they don't give you closure, and I think a lot of people struggle with that, when it comes to, not getting closure from someone you've been, romantically involved with, if they just leave and they don't give you closure, because some people think that closure helps to move on and move forward, and it definitely does help to move on and move forward, but then also you don't need it to move on and move forward. Sometimes people don't give you closure, and sometimes you have to give the closure yourself, and sometimes that sucks, but you don't really have a choice, because that person would never give you closure. So yeah, and obviously I know how bad it hurts to be hurt really bad, when it comes to love and stuff. But then it's also really beautiful, the fact that, you had that experience and you did fall in love, even though it didn't go the way you dreamed about, you still had that experience. I believe in life. I think there's a saying that you have 3 loves in your life. You have your first love when you're young, your second love, which is slow and steady but it doesn't work out, and then your third love is your forever love. Some people don't experience 3 loves, I guess, in their life. Other people do, but I think that's a theory. I kind of like that theory, but I think, in life you will fall in love with a lot of different people, and you'll have relationships that will be short-term, relationships that will be long-term. I do feel like some people just meet when they're young and then they grow old together, which I wish I could have that. But yeah, a lot of people don't have that, Most people, their first love, they think it's there forever, but most people, their first love isn't the person that they'll spend the rest of their life with, which is a bit upsetting because I wish it was like that, but unfortunately sometimes relationships just don't work, or sometimes it fits for a certain amount of time and then people grow apart, and it's heartbreaking and it's horrible because you wanted to stay forever and you probably made promises at the time with them of always staying in that relationship and stuff like that, and it is heartbreaking, when you have to leave that relationship that you've built over years, or months or something. And it's sad, because you make promises and you mean it at the time, but then as you grow and evolve, sometimes you separate or you grow apart, and then your lives don't fit with each other anymore. And when your lives don't fit, sometimes it's better to go your separate ways than to stay when you're not happy anymore and stuff like that. It's not easy. It's never easy to walk away, I guess, when you never want to leave, I guess. But yeah, I think sometimes you have to, for what's best for yourself and what's best for them, But then your heart is oh, I don't want to do that, Your heart, I guess, wants to stay forever, but then your brain's saying something else, and it's hard to because when you fall in love, I feel there's 2 sides of yourself. There's your heart, which is not going with your brain, it's going with feeling, Love is a feeling, Love is love, I think. Every time you fall in love, I feel it's the same exact experience, which is beautiful, I think. I think falling in love is a beautiful process and such a beautiful concept, And I think they've done research on what your brain looks like when you're in love, and I think a lot of the research shows that when you're in love, it's sort of similar to being on drugs, I guess. It's sort of your brain is on a high, I guess. But then it's also good when you meet someone. Sometimes you meet and you fall in love instantly, but that doesn't mean that you can have a relationship. Sometimes love isn't enough, which is a really sad saying, but it is true. Sometimes the love's there and everything's there, but it's the timing isn't right, or you live in different cities, and one of the person might have not done long distance, don't want to do long distance, or it might be they're struggling financially, they're not ready for a relationship. There's so many other factors that involve, wanting a relationship with someone and building that, building that connection and that bond that you share, Like relationships, they have loads of different sectors, that you need to work on when you want a relationship, But yeah, some relationships are short term, some are long term, some end, some stay, I think it is nice when two people split, but then they stay in contact as friends, I guess. I know some people think that you shouldn't stay friends with your ex and things like that. Everyone has different perspectives and stuff, and it also depends on your situation. If you're still living together, obviously you have to still talk and stuff. But yeah, it's just never easy, to end that, because like I said, with your brain and your heart, it's sort of like having a war against itself, saying I want to stay because I still love them, but your brain's saying it's time to go. And yeah, that back and forth can be really tough to make that decision. But I think when it comes to love, I feel like you should always want what's best for someone, and if what's best for someone is to let them go, then in all honesty, that's the right thing to do, Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy or your partner's not happy, then sometimes separating is the best for both of you, even though it hurts. And especially if you're growing apart from each other, maybe separating could be the best thing for both of you. So yeah, that is my thoughts on love. Very heavy topic, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're going through heartbreak, you'll look back one day and you will meet someone else, and you will get over it. I know at the time when you're going through it, you're thinking, no, I'm never going to find anyone else, but someone will end up coming along, and if they don't, then enjoy your own company, and time heals all wounds, so give yourself time to heal, especially before jumping into another relationship, or give yourself time to heal before starting dating again, take yourself out for meals, go to the gym, the spa. I like going swimming and going to the sauna after. Sauna and steam room, but sauna is really lovely. It relaxes your whole body, doing self-care, taking good care of yourself, starting up a new hobby, try and do something that sort of will pick you up, spend more time with your friends and your family, and talk as well, maybe start therapy if you need any. You can always watch my Become Better videos, it might help. Yeah, you'll get through it, and the more time you spend away from that person, and the more time goes on without that relationship in your life, you eventually will heal, and you will, one day you will wake up and you won't think about it anymore, and just, take good care of yourself, do lots of self-help, read books, go to gym, go swimming, do lots more activities for yourself, and just look after yourself and spend time with friends and family, which really helps. And venting to your friends or family, crying also helps a lot to get out all your emotions. And yeah, just take it easy, And yeah, so that's all my tips on talking about love and stuff, and it does take time, I'm not saying you're gonna be happy, overnight, it takes a long time to heal, and sometimes the pain will just become less over time, but yeah, it's not easy, but it's just about like detaching and letting go, and you know, sometimes saying to yourself like, if it was meant to be, it will be. I sort of believe like if something's meant to be, it will be when it comes to like relationships and stuff, and like one day you'll find someone new who will fit your life again, and sometimes like reminding yourself the reason why it ended and why it finished, you know, helps a lot. Like when you remind yourself like, yeah, it was an amazing relationship and you had an amazing chapter together, but it had to end because of so and so reasons. Maybe write a list of why it ended and keep like reminding yourself, you know. And it's like, sometimes a lot of people do this thing where they look back on all the memories and the nostalgia and how good it was, but then sometimes people, when they leave a relationship, they forget all the problems they had and like all the bad things, and they just remember all the happy, good things. Life isn't easy, it goes up and down in waves, like love and romance and projects and time, and I think about time a lot. But yeah, like whatever, and just be grateful that you crossed paths, you know, and you shared an amazing chapter together. Even if it didn't end the way you wanted it to, you still had that opportunity to have that experience with them, and that's beautiful in itself. And they were a part of your life for a short or long time, you know. So it's just about being grateful that you crossed paths, you know, and you shared those memories together. Even though if it didn't last, you know, you still have those memories in your brain forever, you know. And then you'll move on and you'll find someone new, or you might not find someone new, and you will be okay. And I think when it comes to being in a relationship, you should always make sure you're happy, because if you're not happy, then it's harder to like work on your relationships and your projects and everything else. And like, you shouldn't ever let your relationship be the reason why you're happy, because I've made that mistake in the past where I've like been like, oh, if this person's not in my life, or if I'm not in a relationship with this person, I won't be happy, and that's like the wrong place to be in. Like, you need to be happy on your own, and your relationships should add to your happiness. So if they ever did leave, or if the relationship didn't work out, you can still do your own life and have your own separate life. I think when you're in a relationship, you should have your separate life and your life and relationship, and the relationship should add to your happiness, you know. You should want to be in that relationship because it adds to your life, it adds value to your life, you know. If it doesn't add value to your life, or you're not like happy in it, then you shouldn't stay in it, or like you should have enough courage to leave, you know. But yeah, like relationships should add to your happiness. They shouldn't be the main source of your happiness, because if they're the main source, then you're gonna put all your energy on it and all your time and all your money. And then if that relationship ever ended, you'll be like, hold on a minute, I don't have a life outside this relationship. The relationship is my life. And obviously when you're in a relationship, it is a big part of your life. But what I'm saying is you need to have a life outside the relationship. So if it didn't work out, then you still have a life, you know. You still have your hobbies, your passions, your work, your job, your friends, family, you know, and that relationship should be a part of your pie chart of life. I was going to draw like a pie chart of life, but I can just like do it here. So in life, you know, you have your like friends and family, which is like a section. You have your work, relationships, and you know, your relationships is just a small part of your pie chart, which is your life, which is like a representation of your life. And then you have your hobbies and goals, and then you have your like diet and food and things like that. So relationships are a part of your life, they should add to it, you know. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This video was a bit longer because I did go on a bit of a rant, but I hope you found this useful. And yeah, let's change the colour to, this is cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, share, like and subscribe. Maybe I'll just turn it off. Let's keep it on blue if I can find it, or purple. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Check out all my other videos, and I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. Bye guys.